Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is GB Winging It and I'm on my 2018 Honda Goldwing Dct tour. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the Honda Goldwing Dct versus the manual transmission conversation that appears to be going on the web and in the shops, and I'm learning, is there anything that's more controversial in the world of Honda Goldwings right now than what's better, the DCT or the manual? For those who are considering which one is best for them, maybe this video and motovlog can help you. Maybe it may aid you during your decision-making process. I want to share with you a conversation that I had with a Goldwing rider that I met at a Honda dealership. We were waiting and talking at the parks department, and then I mentioned to him that I had made the transition to a DCT motorcycle after having ridden a manual transmission motorcycles for decades. Now this motorcyclist, this Honda Goldwing rider, who I learned during the conversation was a real tourer. I mean, this guy was putting down some miles. And he was in that shop that day inquiring about adding a trailer to his new 2019 Goldwing. And that, and amongst a few of the other items that he was looking at adding. And it's my guess that he was looking to bring the new bike up to specs. The same type of riding and comfort he wanted, he had grown accustomed to with his pre-2019 wing. He appeared to be a real genuine nice guy. So we're talking and chatting about what else? Our wings. And so I had to ask him the question, why did you choose the manual versus the DCT? Now keep in mind, he had mentioned he traded his pre-2018 generation manual, and now he's getting a 2019 manual Honda Goldwing Tour. And for the most part, the reason that he offered was, well, I like to control my motorcycle. So, in keeping in the spirit, I mean, he's a new guy I just met. We basically both smiled and continued talking. But I could sense a change or maybe a defensive, I'm solidly in my camp sort of feel to the energy in the conversation. And as luck would have it, the parts guy was a few feet away and chimed in. Yeah, I prefer the manual transmission as well, and hinted toward control as his reason. And it was at this time that I took the opportunity to share my personal experience and transition to the DCT from a manual transmission. And I offered a few of the reasons that I had shared in my 1 year 10,000 mile review, that motovlog, and basically the reasons I offered were, I like how the clutch changes or execute fast and smoother, and it allows me to concentrate more on the more important things like cornering, braking, dodging obstacles, other riders out here, or other drivers as well, and or just wanting to enjoy the view that I want to, while also offering me the option to manually shift using the F1 paddle shifters on my left handlebar. And for me personally, that makes this DCT transmission better and safer. The DC transmissions are not going away, and my guess is they're going to likely drag all of us motorcyclists out there kicking and streaming into the future of motorcycle transmissions. Well, we had some back and forth going on and the exchange of our whys, and then I went into full listening mode and found out what this DCT versus manual thing is really about. And I have to tell you, it may not be as simple as manual riders simply stating that they just don't like it. There seems to be so much more at play here. And as I was listening, it boiled down to basically habits and distrust of change. Now understand that this motorcyclist I was talking to, we're about the same age, so it's not a generational thing here. And for a frame of reference, I'm 55 years of age. Long story short, I understood his trepidation and concerns. I get it. For many of us, motorcycling in our minds is an art and skill set we all pride ourselves on having mastered. And there is some form of satisfaction when it comes to executing a perfect launch or shift. And for some, the thought of having worked hard to hone these skills to the point of them being unconscious reflexes over the years, and then having to start out fresh again and relearn your craft on a DCT is uncomfortable at best and downright intimidating, especially for older riders or for riders with many more years experience than me. So I told this Goldwing rider that I totally understood his stance and that I had to embrace the idea of letting go of my personal pride, especially when embracing this new technology, and that I understood this idea would be troubling as anyone would feel that they're abandoning their motorcycle heritage in a way, or so to speak. You know, at this point in the conversation, I had to remind him and those within earshot that I was not a motorcycle salesman and I was not looking to sell anyone on DCT. Personally speaking, I love change in general. And for me, allowing sentimentality to get in the way of the performance and enhancement DCT offered wouldn't be an irrational thing. I gave it a shot. I purchased a DCT motorcycle because it was different and that I wanted my motorcycle experience to include riding and owning a motorcycle with a DCT transmission. And that initially I felt the same way that he did about the change, and that gradually that sense of panic faded with each passing mile, and after enough saddle time, it came into focus for me. It's actually more fun on a DCT. Well, we exchanged some contact information and have a path to a better understanding of our whys, why we chose a DCT and why he chose a manual. Folks, I love this sport of motorcycling and all that it has to offer, even our differences. Thanks for coming along for the ride. If you enjoyed this motovlog, please like and subscribe to this channel. And remember to love yourself, love your family, ride forever. Acknowledge your fellow motorcyclist enthusiasts. This is GB Winging It, and I am out.